7 people I used to see every single week are gone. Not from accidents, not from rare diseases that came without warning. They disappeared slowly, predictably, almost obediently to their habits. I watched it happen over and over again from behind a grocery store register for 26 years. That job was never just a job. It was a quiet observation post, a front row seat to human routine. And if you stand in one place long enough, watching long enough, you begin to see patterns. You see how people feed themselves. You see what they reach for when they're tired, when they're lonely, when they've stopped trying. You see how a life tilts, first slightly, then sharply. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. I am simply someone who paid attention, and there are 7 things I stopped doing after watching what happened to others who refused to. You may be doing some of them now, calmly, casually, without realizing the cost. The first thing I stopped was putting into my body what did not resemble food. When I began working in the late 1950s, most items on the belt were simple: meat, produce, flour, eggs. You could recognize everything without reading a label. Over time, the labels grew longer. The words grew stranger. The colors grew brighter. The food became less like food and more like something engineered to be irresistible. And I noticed something subtle but undeniable. The carts changed, and so did the bodies pushing them. Energy faded. Posture shifted. Faces grew swollen, eyes dull. It did not happen overnight. It happened gradually, consistently, predictably. There were still a few who bought vegetables, rice, beans, chicken. Their pace did not slow the same way. Their movements remained steady. They aged, yes, but not in collapse. So I made a quiet rule for myself. If I cannot recognize it, I do not eat it. If it sounds like it belongs in a laboratory instead of a kitchen, it does not enter my home. It was not dramatic. It was disciplined. Your body is not a storage unit for convenience. It is a system, and systems break under constant strain. The second thing I stopped was swallowing everything I felt. For years, I believed silence was strength. If something hurt me, I kept it to myself. If something angered me, I buried it. I smiled, I nodded, I carried it quietly, but the body keeps records the mind pretends to forget. My jaw tightened in my sleep. My stomach burned for no clear reason. Headaches lingered without explanation. I told myself I was fine. I was not. The first time I spoke honestly about something that bothered me, my voice trembled. I expected chaos. Instead, nothing extraordinary happened. The world did not collapse. The relationship did not end. The sky remained intact. But something inside me settled. Truth, spoken calmly, does not destroy stability. Suppressed truth does. There is a difference between aggression and clarity. One harms, the other restores balance. If your chest feels heavy, it may not be weakness. It may be unspoken words pressing against the walls. The third thing I stopped was carrying my worries into bed. For years, I treated nighttime as a courtroom. I replayed every mistake. I rehearsed every possible disaster. I lay there building problems that had not yet happened. Sleep became shallow. Mornings felt heavier than evenings. Then I began something simple. Before bed, I sat alone for a few minutes. No noise, no distraction, just stillness. I acknowledged what was unfinished, and I told myself, this can wait until tomorrow. It sounds small. It is not. The mind needs boundaries. Without them, it runs endlessly. If you close your eyes while still mentally sprinting, your body may rest, but your nervous system does not. Discipline is not only about action. It is also about knowing when to stop. The fourth thing I stopped was spending time with people who drained me. Not everyone who smiles at you strengthens you. Some conversations feel like subtle erosion, small criticisms, constant complaints, negativity wrapped in familiarity. After certain interactions, I noticed I felt smaller, quieter in the wrong way, diminished. After others, I felt expanded, steady, clear. Energy is not mystical, it is psychological, and it is limited. You do not owe prolonged access to anyone who consistently leaves you depleted. I did not create conflict. I simply reduced exposure. I became unavailable where I needed to. And the lightness that followed was measurable. The fifth thing I stopped was ignoring subtle signals from my body. Fatigue that lingers, pain that repeats, changes that feel slightly off. Most people dismiss whispers because they fear confirmation. They postpone appointments. They rationalize symptoms. They assume resilience equals invincibility. But delay compounds damage. I watched strong men grow weak because they waited. I watched women dismiss discomfort until it demanded emergency. Your body speaks quietly at first. If ignored, it escalates. Attention is preventative. Avoidance is expensive. The sixth thing I stopped was purchasing relief instead of creating meaning. From behind the register, I could see emotional spending. People wandered without lists. They filled carts with distractions, snacks, decorations, small comforts, temporary elevation. For a moment, the purchase produced a spark. Then the spark faded. I experienced it myself during grief. Buying something felt like control, like progress. It was neither. Relief purchased fades quickly. Relief created through purpose lasts longer. When I began investing my time in service, in conversations, in being useful, the emptiness softened. Consumption is not connection. Ownership is not fulfillment. If you find yourself reaching for transactions when you feel hollow, pause. The hunger may not be material. The seventh thing I stopped, and this one is the quietest but most powerful, I stopped assuming time was guaranteed. When you are young, time feels abstract, plentiful, renewable. It is not. I postponed small joys, simple experiences, conversations, lessons, visits. I believed there would be more chances. Sometimes there were not. What disappears is rarely the grand event. It is the ordinary moment, the casual coffee, the unplanned laughter, the unremarkable evening that seemed repeatable. There is a dangerous comfort in assuming tomorrow will resemble today. It may not. This is not fear. It is perspective. When you understand that time is finite, your behavior sharpens. Your attention intensifies. You waste less. You postpone less. You tolerate less. That slowly harms you. The people I watched disappear early did not collapse suddenly. They eroded gradually, through food, through silence, through stress, through avoidance, through distraction, through assumption. Longevity is rarely an accident. It is a pattern. You do not need perfection. You need awareness. Eat what strengthens you. Speak what frees you. Rest your mind. Protect your energy. Listen to your body. Seek meaning over comfort. Respect time. None of these are dramatic. All of them are decisive. I stood in one place for 26 years and observed what repetition does to a human life. Repetition builds. Repetition destroys. You are repeating something right now. The question is simple. Is it building you or slowly reducing you? There is no applause for quiet discipline. No immediate reward, only the long, steady return of remaining strong when others begin to fade. You may not notice the difference today, but one day you will look around and realize you are still standing. And that is not luck, that is attention.